Well, hi folks, May the 1st now, so I think it's about time I started to sow me giant veg stuff, me tender stuff like the giant runner beans, giant tomatoes and the giant marrows. Because I think if they take about a week to germinate and I can grow them on for about another 2 weeks, harden them off for a week, it should be coming to the end of May and then we should hopefully be pretty much frost free then, but you never know, but you can't leave it forever, so I'm going to get on and do that now. Just going to show you what I'm going to plant, now I'm going to do it. First of all, I've got some tomato seeds. Where have they gone? I got some off Chris Evans this time. He gave us a few seeds because he got the British record last year of just over £6. So I've got a few seeds there to try, which should be good. And then I've got some that I grew myself. Last year's tomato, I grew my biggest ever last year. It was nearly £4, and they were from another mate of mine who grew one to just over £4. And I've got some of that seed left. Because I didn't manage to get any seed from my tomato last year because it went a bit rotten before I'd left it out at Harrogate, so we've still got plenty of these left. So I'm not going to sow them in sort of individual pots. I'm just going to sow them all in the top of a little plant pot first, and then later, once they start to germinate and grow back to about an inch tall, inch or two tall, I'll just prick them out as you would do a normal tomato really. So I've just got some simple seed sowing compost. It's just some stuff I've riddled really fine, put a bit of perlite in just to open up the structure, make it nice and fluffy, and I'm going to water the top first rather than water it once I've put the seeds on, because I'm only going to be sowing these really shallowly, that's a word, and then if you water that you can end up sometimes washing the seeds away. So I've got some of these. I don't know how many he sent me, there probably won't be many because it's like gold dust. My glasses on and I still can't see. So there's 5 seeds there, so I'll just sow 3 of these because I'm only growing 4 tomatoes in all. So I'll just put these out, space them out. Like I said, I'm only growing 4 tomatoes. I'm not growing a great pile like I tried last year because it's better to grow sort of 3 or 4 well than try and grow 10 badly really. So I'm going to concentrate on try to grow them a bit better. I'll just sieve a little tiny bit of compost over the top of this. I've forgotten my sieve, but this should do the job. Yeah, there's a bit coming out dead fine. So that's those done. Like I said, I'll just put these in the propagator, let them germinate, grow them under my lights till they're about 2 inches tall, and then hopefully just try and tease them out and pop them on into a single pot and grow them on. And then what have we got? Runner beans this year. These are mine from my biggest 2. I've got 2 to just over 26 inches. So I've got 11 seeds from them, and then I've got some other ones from slightly smaller ones, but they're all over 2 feet long. So I don't think there's anything particularly tricky in sowing these. It's just like growing any beans, but apparently if you look at a bean, there's a little slit on the underside. People say you should put that down because that's where the roots grow out, so why not? So I'm just going to shove these in. It's just bog standard compost. Shove them in about twice the depth of the bean with the slit down. Doesn't have to be any kind of fancy compost for these because the roots will be absolutely enormous. So I'm growing 11. I've got room to grow 11 this year, so I've put a bit more compost and fertiliser in this year, so in this soil, so hopefully we might get an even bigger one. So it's just great fun growing these giant runner beans. Doesn't seem to be much particular skill in it, they just seem to grow. If you limit each sort of truss on the plant to 1 or 2 beans, all the energy goes into those, and it's just crazy. Last year I was growing into that big without even trying. So one of the others is the marrow now. And I've got some seeds from last year's biggest marrow grown. It did actually split, but it's from Kevin, and it's a £158 marrow these are off, so if I can't grow a £100 off these, I never will. And he suggested that I actually chip these rather than plant them. So what I've got is a little Tupperware thing, Chinese takeaway, with some wet tissue paper in the bottom, wet kitchen roll. And all you do is just lay them on there, and then cover them up with another sheet of wet kitchen roll and keep them in about airing cupboard temperatures, sort of late 60s degrees Fahrenheit or something, and just keep checking them every day. And apparently what they'll do is they'll start sending out the roots from the bottom, and then once they start doing that you can then plant them, because then it's a lot safer to do it that way than actually just plant them in the pots, because sometimes they can rot off. And these will just be going, tomatoes will go in a propagator at about 70 odd degrees, and I'll just sit these on top of the propagator, on top of the roof, just to give a little bit of bottom heat, just to raise the temperature a bit, and hopefully we should get some germination within a week, and then we can plant them, and then they should sprout, and then maybe another 2 weeks growing, and then plant them out. So the last thing, what I'm going to do as well today is plant my giant potatoes out in the polytunnel. So they're in the greenhouse. I'll take them up to the plot and I'll just show you how I'm going to plant those out and what I'm going to do with those, because it's just as much a mystery as it is for you as it is to me this year. Well, hi folks, time to plant the giant spuds out now. I'm really happy with the way they've grown. They're looking really healthy. I've just carried them across the field. It's blowing a gale outside, if you can hear. And they all got a bit battered, so anyway, these are some of the early ones I planted, and these are some of the late ones. But if you notice, even though they've all been just grown from one eye or one chick, some have got a double stalk and some have got a single stalk. So I'm going to plant both and just see what, if anything, is the difference. So whether they produce more potatoes, which is not what you want, or the single one just produces fewer but grow bigger. So we'll see. So what I'm going to do now is plant these in the bed. I'm going to plant them at the same height as they are in the pot, so hopefully any potatoes that form will be high up in the soil, or even growing out of the soil. Then I can cover them up, because then I'll be able to find it easier to root out all the little ones and just hopefully leave myself one big one to grow on and get all the size. So I've got, this is where I grew my carrots last year, so it's really good, deep fertile soil. So like I said, I'm just going to plonk them in. I'm going to add some of the micro giant veg, which is mycorrhizal fungi, and added beneficial bacteria and stuff. Probably have to support these leaves at a later stage, because I'm not planting them any deeper than they are in the pots. They will get a bit tall and top heavy, so we will see how we get on. So first one in. Sometimes you can actually get little potatoes already forming, but obviously there don't seem to be any. So we're going to have some of this mycorrhizal fungi now. Just going to dust the roots with it. I can organise myself. Needs to be in contact with the roots. So just dust some around the roots, and anything else just shove it back in the hole and plonk her in. So I've never grown a giant potato before, I've never tried it, so it should be quite interesting to see how we get on. No intentions, no illusions of trying to get anywhere near the world record of, I think it's £10 or something ridiculous like that by Peter Glazebrook, but you know, you never know, you've got to be in it to win it. Might fluke one, who knows. So that's that one. We'll chuck another one in. Same thing, just going to dig a hole. I'm planting these probably a bit too close. I'm not sure how big the tops will get with just having one stem. Obviously the further apart you plant things, the more room they have, the more root mass per bit of soil. So I'm probably giving them a little bit, not giving them really enough space, but anyway, we'll see. So again, I'll just give it a quick dusting of this stuff. A bit more, chuck the rest in the hole. Plonk her in. So that's it, a bit of giant stuff planted and sowed now. Let's see how they get on. Just hope they don't get blight. They should be quite blight resistant being in the polytunnel. I've grown spuds in the polytunnel before and never had blight, so hopefully that should be the case with these, so they'll grow on as long as possible. We'll get the biggest one possible, and then we'll see what we get around September time for arrogate, see if we pull a monster out. Anyway, that's about it folks. Tomatoes sowed, marrows sowed, runner beans sowed, and my first giant potatoes sowed. I'll be putting a few more in some giant pots in here and seeing how they get on well as well. So that's about it folks. See you later.